that makes me think, when we moved, I was we were living in Michigan. At the time, we always considered it the North, but actually it's the North of the Midwestern states. But then moving to a Southern state, I definitely had a Northern accent, and some of the words I used were different too, like pop for
Soda.
soda. So I was ridiculed by kids for my accent for sure.
Yeah, another difficult thing for me was that the area that we moved to was affluent, and I mean, we certainly were not rich. So, you know, and you could see it from the clothes we wore to the cars that my parents drove. I mean, we had these old clunkers, and everyone else in the neighborhood have these brand new cars. So it was pretty obvious. Like, we would turn a lot of heads driving past people.
Oh my God, that sounds so much like my situation. We moved from a very blue collar area. My parents, being teachers, were very blue collar as well, to a very affluent area, a lot of doctors and lawyers. And I can remember moving, we my mom drove this yellow and black Gremlin. So
Yeah,
I
they don't
would
make
get
those anymore,
no,
and there's a reason for it.
I would get dropped off at school from come in the Gremlin. I would be so embarrassed. And then, we didn't have the designer clothes that all the kids we went to school with wore. So it just was very stressful trying to keep up with the Joneses and buying these designer clothes. It was very stressful for me and my brothers, but also we put a lot of pressure on our parents to buy these, and they just couldn't afford it.
Yeah, that sounds familiar.
I got to tell you one story I can remember. My mom actually, she can't sew, and she had sewn me this pair of knickers. Knickers at one point were back in style. Do you know what those are?
Yes, yeah.
And they were horrible looking. And I wore them to school, and all the kids were making fun of me on the playground.
Oh my gosh.
I was just standing in a corner by myself about to cry. And then I went home and I was like, Mom, I want real knickers. I want you to buy them in the store for me.
Yeah, kids can be cruel. I know kids can be cruel because I'll tell you what, I had a really bad experience right before I started school the summer that I moved to Pennsylvania. I'm playing football with the kids in the neighborhood,
Uh-huh.
and of course, what happens is I get tackled and someone falls on my leg and it breaks my ankle.
No.
I couldn't believe it. So I'm sitting there trying to, act as if like it doesn't hurt that much, but I mean, it hurt a lot. And then, the kids thought I was crying wolf. They didn't really think I was hurt at all. So I have to walk away and walk home on a broken ankle. And I mean, I just felt like screaming at the top of my lungs. I was in so much pain, but I couldn't do it because I didn't want the kids to think I was like some wimp.
Oh.
So it gets worse. I have to go to school with a cast on my leg to start the school year. So I'm the new kid with the thick accent, the clothes that look out of place. You know, Nobody knows me, and I have a cast on my foot, and I can't take a shower. I can't shower the legs, so my toes are a little dirty. I mean, I wanted nothing more than to move back to New York that very moment, the first day of school.
God, I bet you stuck out like a sore thumb.
Oh, man, you can't imagine. It was the worst. I mean, I think for the first 2 years I lived in Pennsylvania, I just wanted to hop on a bus and get back to New York as fast as I could.
Yep, that was me wanting to move back to Michigan too.
But, but you know, at least you moved at an earlier age. It's a lot easier because, when you're younger, it's just, all the kids are getting familiar with each other. But when you move and you're a little older, the kids already know each other. They've already combined the elementary schools into the middle school for when I had moved there.
Yeah, but ironically enough, my older brother, I think, had an easier time adapting, and he was starting seventh grade. I was starting third grade. My younger brother was starting second grade, and my younger brother and I had a really rough time.
Yeah. Well, as much as I hated it when I first had moved to Pennsylvania, now in looking back, I think it was really a blessing in disguise. I mean, there were so many other opportunities that came available to us from living in Pennsylvania and going to a school district that, was had a lot more money, and the education that we got was better, and it just provided me with a much better starting point for college.
Right.